G'day, everybody. How is everybody this weekend? Hopefully, everybody's doing fine. Got myself, Artie, here, and my beautiful co host or partner in crime, Anthony Dodge, here next to me.
Yeah,
G'day,
brother one.
Thomas, Grassus, and the other two people are lurking in the background. Oh, Hot Dog Andy, how are you, buddy?
Howdy, howdy.
Um, so everybody's getting in. Looks like everybody's still trying to wake up on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. And Dan's my railroading journey. How
Hello,
are you,
D.
buddy? Welcome to the
Yeah,
stream.
there were a lot of people live when I turned my computer on. A lot of
Oh,
people
was
were
there?
live.
Well, I've only just.
And
But John, how are you?
that's one of the people I'm
We've had one wild 28 hours, 30 hours. Oh, a lot worse than that. A lot worse than that. Yeah, and a bit more. We were getting blown away here. Something chronic. It actually started yesterday morning during Anthony's live stream just before he came on. And man, did he come with a thud and a bang. It's that wild that I've even got my next door neighbours. I've got her panties and bras in my yard. So, goes to show you how wild it was last night. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that for a giveaway next. What is it next week, Anthony? You want a giveaway?
that'll be a totally different giveaway.
um, so last night, well, yesterday afternoon and last
When you asked her for a couple of cups of milk, that's not what you meant.
exactly right. Yeah, well, I needed the sugar more than the milk. Uh, um, yeah. But no, it was what it was really wild. There's been a fair bit of damage around the place. Sydney caught the brunt of it, and the Blue Mountains. We were up at the Three Sisters. Uh, he's on to us, Anthony. He's on to us. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but there is a
Wild Australian party.
there is a 7 foot fence around the side of my house. So, and no, I'm not jumping over that fence either. Um, but yeah, up at the Blue Mountains, up to the Three Sisters, it was snowing last night.
Well, hi, Chris.
Valley,
Chris.
Valley, how are you, buddy? Welcome here. And even some of the highland where we were up at around Mittagong and parts of Goulburn got sleet and snow. We even had sleet down in a corner pocket of Albion Park near my place.
Hmm.
So it gives you an idea how cold it got yesterday afternoon. Macquarie Pass, if you remember, Anthony, remember when we came back from Kangaroo Valley, we were going down that windy
Right.
bit that you didn't like down near the bottom there. We
Right.
had sleet there last night, or yesterday afternoon. Gotta love trees. You really gotta love it. I mean, just the other week they came around here, pruned the tops of the trees because they're getting too close to the power lines. There was a few power lines that did get damaged, but the worst of the damage was up the top of the hill where they forgot about the trees on the side of the substation, which decided to go clunk bang into the substation. So we lost our power. Finally, we end up losing a big major block of our power around about 7:30, 8 o'clock last night. So it was early to bed. Fair bit of damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my trees, but geez, they're going to have to find a better place to put them in.
Not the tree's fault it grew there. I mean, at least where I live, we have codes about how close a tree can be to a substation and how the substation is protected.
Yeah, well, I thought being on the other side of the fence would be right, but no. We had, I don't know, there's something about that substation, which is up on top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it because that 2 years ago there was a young hoon. I don't know if you guys call them hoons as well. You know, they get little revheads in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to go crashing into it during the car. police chase. We lost power for nearly 2 days. He made a mess of it. I've got to say he didn't make it too well from that. Now I was going to get some trains running. I have been trying to get some speed calibration done for the automation. Talking of trees, okay, I have none on my layout at the moment. I've got one tree, but it's fallen over from the wind.
I actually have a few trees, just nothing permanently stationed.
You're in the post.
Gave him one tree. Here.
Yeah, well, I just thought, me, I've only got one tree here. I haven't even thought about when I'm going to put trees on my layout. I've got an idea what I'm doing with the scenery, but that's going to be coming later on down the track. I'm hoping to get some scenery done for Christmas. Just a couple. When you get yourself sorted out there, they'll come and do something for me. Now, Anthony, I've got to wish you congratulations on your 2,000 subs. Are you still maintaining that 2,000?
Oh yeah, we're still growing.
And I heard you got me involved in something that you're doing at your place.
Yes, we are doing a Find Artie on my layout game next Friday, my Friday live stream.
So you got me coming to visit you, have you?
We've got a mini you coming to visit.
Oh, so you haven't sent the ticket in the mail for me?
No, but he's going to have roughly the same accommodations. But we did, where Australia want to let you do it, we did hook you up with a couple of friends to keep you company while you're bouncing around my layout next Friday.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what's the giveaway? What are you giving away apart from
apart
from my next door neighbor's
the first thank you is a $100 gift certificate to the model train shop or of your choice, or any gift card of your choice.
Right.
And then $60 and $40.
See, I told you that the ratings will go up as soon as we start mentioning.
We might increase that money as we talk about it.
Yeah.
You just got to talk to Joyce, the banker.
Yeah, well, she's the boss, after all.
We won't put Artie where the cat. I don't know. That cat has crapped everywhere, so.
Yeah, I've got to say one thing though. With me not having Pixie here, I tell you what, I've been really slack. G'day, Stormy. How are you?
Hello, Stormy Sky.
The front end of the lounge room hasn't been so messy since I've been here. I've got to get my act together.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. I remember it took us when our dog Storm died that we had for 15 years. It took us a couple of weeks before we could even take the water and food bowls out of the kitchen. It just, nobody wanted to do it because it was sort of like completely admitting they were gone. As long as they were there was a sense of normal. Yeah, that's always been there.
Well, Stuart's still feeding off the leftover tucker from Pixie. If anyone's asking who Stuart is a little mouse that decided to make a home in here. And I believe Stuart was one of the buddies of Pixie, because out of the 3 mice that I had here, that was the only one she did a thump at. G'day, Steve. Peace out that way, buddy. And like, I got 2, but that one came out, and they pretty much, when I wasn't looking that hard, I mean, here's the mouse near the water bowl, and here's Pixie up next to me, and they're almost like staring at each other. They're just all relaxed. So, yeah, I suppose it's a little company too. I say it is, but you know what? They grow onto you, and they're like a little child. And with what lot of people have known what I've been going through in the last 4 years. It was hard enough losing Randall, but when Pixie came around, it actually helped me mentally, where I saw things in a different light because the rabbit had its own disabilities. And I don't mean it jokingly, so I'm mentioning it seriously. Well, if anyone, because I've been struggling with my operations and the pain and everything else and trying to move forward. But one thing that Pixie showed me, she had a bit of deformity and a disability after she was 6. Where she couldn't, I don't know if everyone's ever seen a rabbit, so you usually sit up on their behind and go up and prune themselves. It's something like what cats do as well, but she couldn't do it. Plus, the way her legs and the feet were slightly deformed, she couldn't keep her balance up.
Right.
So what she'd do, she'd just drop down on the ground and flop over, make a game of it, and then keeps her head up and just does it like this. And here's an animal, a creature yay big, found a way to adapt. And by watching what she did, I learned to adjust to it as well, accordingly. Well, that's it, Valley. I didn't know. The thing with her was, I think I mentioned it last week, I don't know what it was. I'd never changed her diet. All of a sudden, she got sick. The first thing I started looking for, is there any bites on it? Is there any snake bites or anything like that?
Right.
But she would have been frothing. She would have acted differently. It would have been instantaneous. Was she poisoned? She would have been frothed. But then again, a lot of times, some of the baits that they use dehydrate them real bad. But it wasn't bait. The only thing I'll put down to was there's a weed or plant that's grown in from next door neighbour, which is a type of a lily, and it's got like a milky sap in it. And sorry, I'm just trying to find the train. Stop working. And I believe that plant was the toxic plant that actually done her harm. I had her close to 3.5 years. Will I get another one? Yeah, I probably will, but not right just yet. I am going to be real busy in the next
few months. Yep.
3 to 4 months. So, ladies and gentlemen, I may not be able to make it to everybody's streams. I may have to take a bit of a break from here from time to time. I'm fine. I will be fine. If there is something wrong, I will say something. But their claim and everything else to do with my accident is now getting to head, which is getting resolved, and we've got to try to finalise everything because we got to finish it off by July next year. Not July, May next year. So the head is on to get things done. Once that's done, some parts of me will be able to relax. So I'll apologise in advance. I know recently I haven't really been on much during the weekdays on the streams. You probably noticed I haven't been a lot of people's live streams because this is important to me. I need to set up my future. I need to get myself fixed and sorted out, and now is the crunch time. So what I've been doing, I've been trying to do some speed profiling, matching.
You've been trying to do some speed.
Yeah,
that's not good for you either. You shouldn't be doing speed.
But it's good. It's supposed to get you high. And let me see. And I've had nothing but problems. I have managed to swap my trains around. Which I want. The ugly face there. I think it's that one there. I have got some American trains up. Locomotives. I'm still setting.
Howdy, Randall. Welcome in, my friend.
Hello, Randall. How are you? as you see, I have cleaned up the top here a little bit.
Yes, you have.
I've been testing out my engines. I have found I am having problems with the American 6-axle engines, but I managed to dig out a lot of 4-axles. And now what I'm doing is I'm doing a speed profile and braking profile on the computer for my automation, so that will stop and go. Oh, my calibration's finished. Okay.
Yeah, just need to get all your Aussie stuff back out, and your Aussie stuff, like all your curves and angles, and the American and European stuff seems to struggle with it.
Well, the European stuff didn't struggle with it. And everything the European didn't struggle as much.
Not as much.
I've got to admit their traction tires do help. But realistically, when I look at it, like the 3.6% grade, the locomotives should be able to go up the hill, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 7 and 9%.
Well, the 9% they're not going up it; they're coming down it. So
okay,
yeah, because that right there, I've actually got them going down and not going up it. So it's I call it the slide. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for understanding, Steve.
Steven. The current flows the other way. And by the way, that's a myth.
It's a myth.
Well, it's a myth that toilets flow the opposite way. It's how the toilet's designed.
I've got to say, being in the Southern Hemisphere, the only thing that's different, down in the Southern Hemisphere is the way the low pressure system, high pressure system actually goes. It actually does flow the opposite way to.
I guess it is. Hi, Delmarva. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, buddy.
No, the other thing that's different, and again, I know people like Steve, 87 Piece has traveled a lot for his job, but of course, Joyce and I, this was our first time beyond the equator.
Yeah.
And of course, you know how much we fell in love with the oceans and the rainforest. But of course, there was one other special event that was important for being in Australia. And that was finally getting a clear sky at night and staying awake and seeing the constellations in the Southern Hemisphere. We had, our question was, could we look at the sky in the Southern Hemisphere, and would it be noticeably different than the sky we see every night and in the Northern Hemisphere? And it clearly was different. You may not, it may seem obvious that, well, of course it's different, or maybe you think it's just stars in the sky, but no, there are certain constellations and certain stars in certain places, depending on the time of year you're used to seeing, and it was totally different. Of course, we got to see the Southern Cross and some of the other things, and that was so cool to see it and go, yeah, this is different. To see the Milky Way band was very cool, because we have never seen that. We have seen very dark, deep skies in the middle of Germany where there's no town lights and the sky is just so deep, it's infinite. But when we got up there to Mount Kira and got to see the sky really for the first time, it was obviously very different constellations. We did finally find the Southern Cross, which was just one of those little things I had to do, and as soon as I saw it, as Crosby, Stills and Nash song came in my head, when you see the Southern Cross. Well, I know you heard it about 10 times over the next 2 days. But that's how special it was. Just a simple little thing.
That was in 15 minutes, folks. G'day, Ray.
That was very cool to see.
I do have to say this much, though. I have noticed, I mean, this is going to sound stupid and wacky anyway, and it's the way the sun sits in the sky, particularly during the middle of the day. and I took notice of it, particularly during our winter months. So I haven't really spent much of a winter in the US until this last trip. But even the summertime, I noticed there's a difference in the way the sun actually sits in up in the horizon, up in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
For us here, the sun is supposed to be, it will sit up in the north. Like, as you know, sitting from my front yard, the sun is actually over the front, which is in the northerly direction.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm in the US,
it's in the south.
It's in the south.
Right.
And it really throws you out. During the winter time, the sun here still is more to the north.
Right.
When I was in South Carolina, it was more above.
Yep.
Where we were. And the sun is really sitting in a different spot compared to what we are down in here. And we're roughly about, longitudinally, we're roughly about the same within the same
yeah
band.
But you're still dealing with the curvature that everybody thinks North Pole, South Pole of the earth is like this, but actually it's like that as it goes around the sun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so it will orientate differently. Yeah. Even if you're at 45 degrees north and 45 degrees south, the sun is oriented differently. But like you said, our house, Joyce will always talk about the part of our house that is south facing because that's the hottest part of the house. But it's always, yes, through the year, sometimes the sun is rather low across the southern sky, and during the summer it's much higher, and we get a lot more of it, and it heats up that part of the house. The closer to the Arctic Circle, the better off you are.
Yeah, because you crossed.
Well, less direct sunlight. Delmarva said, where do you have to go to Northern Lights? Normally I'd have to go way up into Canada, or I'd have to go over to Scandinavia. But because of the special event that they had with the Northern Lights, Joyce and I got to see them a little bit here in Toledo. We had to drive, about an hour east of us so we could get out of all the light bleed. We probably should have gone west. It would have been faster to go west. But we found a place on Lake Erie, and we could see them in the distance. It still wasn't the best. Other people that live 30, 40 miles north of us had much better pictures. So we should have gone north and then headed east.
Well,
but there's just so much civilization. Toledo to Detroit, there's like a 15-mile area where you do have some country. And you don't have all the light bleed, but then you don't necessarily want to drive on those roads at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. You see, the place where I'll be moving to, which I showed you on the map, which would be further out west at the Port Augusta, they were saying down there like this, just recently, how we had the Southern Lights, the Southern Aurora,
right,
blowing out through the south. They had a spectacular view down there, even going right across into to the Nullarbor and to where the actual bite is. Mm-hmm. They had a spectacular view, and I think I've only seen it once, going across the Nullarbor, going out across to Perth, and I tell you what, it was spectacular. But I was told by friends of mine in Port Augusta that was actually better now than it was that time. Only train won't work. Okay, track with a German decoder. Right, I'll tell you what. Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'll get back to that in a minute. But the stars out there, but the sky is completely different because you don't get that light pollution down there.
But Ray, all three of them are made in China.
G'day, Tammy and Ray. How are you
guys? Tammy and Ray, or Ray and Tammy.
But yeah, he was saying the valley. He was saying, the Perth is a nice. It is a nice place. Was a nice place. There has been a lot of people that have moved over there. But believe it or not, NASA actually comes to Australia quite a fair bit to do stargazing and checking out the planets and um, doing the space exploration. They do a lot of it from down in the centre of Australia because there's very little light pollution
Right.
out there. I mean, when there's no moon, it is black. I mean, it is black like um
Black
it's
like
dark
that.
black. Yeah. The only thing that lights up the sky is the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see a lot more of it up there. You'll see the constellations. You see all the different constellations. You see the Milky Way clear as almost like clear as day, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the sunset and the sunrise is different too. If anyone ever gets the opportunity to take the train ride to from Adelaide to Darwin, they do make a stop just before sun up and before sunrise, and you'll see if you look to the east, you can see the sun's coming up. But when you look behind you, yeah, it's dark as. I mean, you've got two different scenes, but as the gradually comes up, you actually get to see how gradually the different colours come up.
Hello, Carolina Foothills and Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hey, Eric and Dave, my chat stopped scrolling down. Slip through. I was coming from India. Oh, geez, you would have had a fun time there. But you'll get to see it. Like many times I've gone across, even in the road train going across, and you do see it. It gradually comes up, and you just have that darkness, and then all of a sudden it's just gone blank, gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like someone's turned on the switch. Now, going back to what, right? G'day, Eric. How are you, buddy? Monzo, good morning, buddy. I'm still here. I haven't gone blown away completely. But I tell you what, we had one hell of a blowjob here yesterday. It was blowing hard. But yeah, Ray was saying I'm running American train on UK tracks with a German decoder. Well, actually, the American train's actually got American decoders in it. And I've just been speed profiling a GP30, one of the limited edition Proto 2000s that Walther's brought out with a Tsunami decoder. The sound decoder's failed in it.
Hi, Mansville.
So I'm not too happy. It's going all right. I haven't finished calibrating it yet. How much did that cost?
What you were just talking about, what you just did.
Pardon?
I think he's asking you how much it costs to do what you were just saying about your American locomotive and stuff.
Well, the locomotive.
He doesn't know because he stole it. Like he tries to steal rail jets.
No, it just cost an arm. It just cost an arm this time. I can't remember what I paid for that. It's been a while ago. I bought it. Actually from. Actually, I did buy that one. I didn't steal that one. I did actually
traded it for favors.
I bought it from Train World in Brooklyn. And I do have the receipt for it on file somewhere. Hang on, I've got it on the internet. Oh, hang on. That buggered up this week too, didn't it? Yeah. I have found that out in the older ones, but this one came in with a factory installed decoder in it. Lucky it's a Tsunami one. I can get in contact with Soundtracks and I can swap it over because they do have a lifetime warranty on their decoders when they fail. G'day, Les. How are you?
Hey, Les. How are you?
The only thing that's failed in the actual decoder is the actual sound itself. Um, and it's just started this morning.
Could it
So
be the speaker then? Could it be the speaker and not the decoder?
no, it's the decoder. It's just the way the sound's coming out of it.
Okay.
The sound now, instead of sounding like a EMD or like a GP30, it actually sounds like an air conditioning unit.
Now, who programmed that into a decoder that it could flip to that, but with some sort of electric surge or something?
Well, we'll have to ask. We're going to have to ask George at Soundtracks. He's the only person who has the answer to that. Liz, g'day, buddy. How are you? Yeah, so at the moment, I am still getting a lot of the trains sorted out. I was hoping to get it all done last night because we didn't have the power. I couldn't finish it all off.
Start the fighting now and go, who makes the best decoders, and let them fight it out.
I gotta say, since I've been doing my automation, doing this German program, Artie's Only Fans. Oh yeah, you got to go and look at that. That's doing better than my YouTube channel, a lot better. But I'm not going to tell you what the channel is. I'm not going to. You're going to have to find it yourself. It's all right. You were in that too, in the OnlyFans.
Oh no. Sorry, Joyce and I checked the bedroom for cameras and mics beforehand. All that spy tech.
You didn't check all the spiders, did you?
We checked everything. They got swatted. Joyce needs to tell you her story about the huntsman spiders that an Australian shared on a page she reads.
Oh, what, the one that comes out in the middle of nowhere?
No. Long story short, she talks about how the person loves the huntsman spider in their house. They've made it a pet, and it comes out and does whatever. And they like to go out at night, turn on the flashlight, and they see hundreds of its friends' eyes in the grass. The reactions by so many people were, oh no. I better check on the pens. Yeah, those two. We left nothing unturned.
Yeah. But you didn't look at the printer, did you?
We looked at everything. Anything that was in the room, we checked.
Okay.
Plus, we set up jamming signals.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, but that jamming signal don't work too well with the old technology. I had to have some fun. Come on, I had to have something. But
hey, we were willing to entertain you, but there's a line that doesn't get crossed. Hey, Curly.
G'day, Curly. How are you? Well, it's like you didn't meet Ben and Rochelle from next door when they were building that house, and the parents and that. Oh, that we banter all the time. They go, "It's all right. I got your latest episode up on the OnlyFans channel," and their parents just look and go, "What?" And they go, "It's all right." Because their parents are house sitting at the moment. I go, I install the cameras all around the place while the house has been constructed. Twin powers, actually.
But you should ask me how I'm doing, Artie.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Don't ask.
Well, you told me to ask you.
Oh my God, I bought a couple of trains and locos and had them shipped over, and they have left. They left Germany and actually stopped off in Belgium. This is all FedEx, and then they fly into Memphis. My package went to Memphis, was leaving Memphis, and then got pulled back. And then I got notified that there was all kinds of import issues on it. Like, we don't know what's in this. You have to tell us what it is, or we're sending it back to Germany, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dudes, it's what's always in there when it's from this place, of which I've gotten many, 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 many boxes over the years. So I had to explain that it was model trains. And what is the purpose of these model trains? To play with, you. And I'm just going, what else do you think is the purpose of them? And what are they made out of? Plastic metal. But anyhow, so it was supposed to be at my place Wednesday, but it got held up for improper or insufficient. What was it? Insufficient importing information. Okay, so then we got that sorted out. So it should have been at my place Thursday. Didn't show up. It left and got held again. And then it was supposed to be there Friday, but it's Friday morning, 5 or 5 p.m. Thursday night. It leaves Memphis, Tennessee to go up to the Detroit Distribution Center. 5 whatever p.m. 5:08 a.m. Received at Memphis. It's like, come on, how many times do you got to send it out and then it comes back? What the hell's going on? So now they're telling me, they just told me right before I went live that, oh, you should get your package Monday.
Well, I've actually found a trick to the FedEx now with the deliveries to my place here. Like, you know how I got those 2 parcels? I think I know where they're coming from with that. Because you know how I got the 2 boxes from Lipper? One was sent one day, one in the following day, but they... G'day, Kevin, how are you, buddy? Hopefully hold on to your bridges over there, buddy. The strong winds are coming.
SF Raton NZ. Yes, I saw the sale, Steve, but unfortunately when Renaud's put something on sale, I can still get it cheaper from Europe and faster.
Yeah.
Usually.
But what I noticed in the carton, like on most people that send out, like particularly in one of the cartons, it actually had the invoice slip, which actually contains what's inside the box, right?
Right.
The other carton, it didn't have it, right? So one of the 2 cartons had the packaging slip, what's in the carton, and the other one didn't. And with what's going around, g'day, Joe, how are you? I can understand them, what they're doing. But now with FedEx here, FedEx is just on the other side of the hill by the temple there. Now, if I had to have it delivered here, I can wait here all day long and sometimes won't get it to dinner time, but FedEx is just over the hill. And those 2 parcels coming that week that I had troubles with. So what I decided to do is I'm going to have it held up at the depot, which is on the other side of the hill.
Right.
I get a notification 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's here. Beauty. I'm going over there to pick it up. I've got it quicker when it gets dropped off the depot than when I do get it here at my place. Now, where Steve said, yeah, about the decoders, yeah, there are issues. Every decoder's got issues. But since I've started using this automation program, the German one, Holvermation, he's using the same one. He's got the latest version. The 2 decoders that I have found are reasonably easy to set because we've got to do speed profiling and brake setting. The ESU are reasonably easy to work with, but the Roco ones, I don't know what decoder they use in the Roco engine locomotives, they're almost faultless.
Yes, I would say whatever they're using, Roco is even better than Märklin. Sound quality is better, and to be honest, compare my ESU locomotives with an ESU decoder. Hey, somebody's online here.
Trying to treat it like a line bit.
ESU decoder. The sound quality on those is great because a lot of people think ESU is the best, the sound quality, but a lot of other things I'm not that impressed
good looking.
with.
I'm not talking about you, Anthony. I'm talking about the lady behind you.
He missed all the drama outside.
What'd I miss?
Oh, you didn't hear me shout? You
No.
weren't hearing anything?
I just heard the yelling and was saying, hey, shh, quiet, I'm online.
Well.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Listen, it's wacky. It's so Wacky Weekend without any bit of drama here.
Okay. So, tire squealing. Dog squealed, but was okay apparently. Came around one of the close streets. Hit the brakes again. Hit a tree. Caddy corner. I think he backed up. The car might have gone off.
He did back up.
Everybody runs out there, including our neighbor who's a cop. And Kevin's our neighbor, got him out of the car and sat him down and was trying to see if he was all right. Well, this guy got extremely belligerent.
So that's what all the shouting was.
And so, yeah, he was walking all around the area there. He kept trying to box Kevin. Kevin's very scrappy, but he's not a very big guy.
Okay, so somebody should have come and got me.
Finally, well, that's I say you were out here, you would have gotten involved. Some muscle.
Well, come on, you could have got a camera around. We could have seen it all happening live.
He marched right down to where this guy was. Wonderful wrestle move. Got that guy right down on the ground, knee on his back. Kevin's got his knee on his back and subdued him. Got some
guys have the same training I've had because that's what you do. You get them down on their belly, knee in the back.
Absolutely got him down like a
Don't forget that. Don't forget that training.
So, anyway.
We need to get that on live on air. I mean, the ratings would have gone up.
One of the people came down and were filming it. He started chasing that, walking after her. She was very nervous.
I hate that though. I mean, in some ways, filming's good because you can get a record, but a lot of people, instead of helping where they could help, they're too busy trying to see how many clicks of it. And now you got people saying hi to you.
Hi.
It's like here on Thursday, Friday here.
Because both my cops both my neighbors are cops.
Yeah, Sherry clearly isn't here.
There was a big car chase. That was Friday. Big car chase going around the neighborhood.
That was before the chase.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool. Backyard. Apparently one of them landed in the river.
I'm missing everything being live. Sorry, Artie, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Apparently we got a balloon race going overhead too. And one of them went down in the river just past our house.
Oh, well, at least they got their own flotation device, I hope.
Yeah, where was your cam when you ran out there? Didn't you and Liz film?
No.
Do you know the views you could have gotten on your channel?
Yeah.
You're up to 126 subscribers now. You got to start putting content up there. Anyhow, we're getting away from things.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, let me just get this up. So that's my speed profiling that I'm doing for the trains that run my automation program. But where it actually comes challenging is when I'm doing the brake compensation, and that's where you find how quickly or how slowly the decoders react to the commands that the actual computer or even a DCC throttle, how long it takes for it to react. And the worst out of all the decoders that I've found to work with so far is the QSI and the TCS decoders. They are the worst. But the best ones I worked with to date, I've got to say, is the Roku. And I think the Roku does use Zimo, I think. Zimo and Motorola. I've actually found them to work the best.
Zimos are very good, usually. Some people hate them. It's like no matter what decoder you mention, somebody hates them. But Merklin uses Zimo Motorola.
Okay, Steve, take care.
All right, bye, Steve.
But at the end of the day, it's everyone's preference of what they do. The way I'm running at the moment, the way I'm looking at it with some because I have got, Anthony has seen what I've got. I have got a lot of stuff here. And I come to a decision this weekend, since Friday, mainly, that any trains that I'm having issues with, problems with, it's gone. I'm selling it. It's going out the door.
Good night, Eric.
And,
So big decision. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I'm getting rid of it. Except for the Australian 44s and that, they got to get rebuilt. They're different ones because they're nice looking loco, but a lot of the other stuff that I've had, if I'm having issues with it, it's gone. And to replace them with, I am this side here next to me is converting me over to European. Yeah, you, you.
Moi?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and.
C'est impossible.
The only one that the only little Reiko I actually got to get in touch with Reiko itself. The only one that I really got to look at is that red and white one, the red one that I got, the the class 1043. When it's sitting idling, it doesn't sound right. So I got to get someone or got to get them to send me a sound file to see what it sounds like sitting idle. Because it almost sounds like an electronic buzz. While it's under warranty, if that's the case, I'll get it swapped out. But when I'm doing my automation program for where to want to stop, they stop where they need to be. With a lot of American decoders, when I tell it you got to stop at a certain spot, they'll just keep going. Sometimes 1, 2, 3 loco links away from its stopping point. I don't know if anyone's noticed on my layout, I have little bobby pins sticking on the layout. One is a signal, roughly what a signal is, but that is my stopping point for my automation program. So I'm gradually getting there. I think one problem is this incline up the top here. Once that level's out, they should stop in a proper spot. That's because America doesn't listen to. Well, sadly, that's the problem. There are some that don't actually, Steve, and that's a sad part of it. They decide they want to go their own way, and all right, we'll just leave it at that and see what happens.
I don't think they.
We get those people down here too. We've had people like that in Berkeley. Oh, why they won't listen until it comes to crunching, and it's like, oh, but you should have done this. You should have done it that way. Well, we all have been doing it, but you just thought you want to be different. So, so we've had these young ones around here, and yeah, things are coming back the old-fashioned way. So it's working.
I thought Roku used Uhlenbrock now, but okay.
I don't know what they're using, but whatever they're using,
I don't, because ESU, now that they make their own locos and that, they're not making decoders for other companies as much. They either sell them independently. So, if you can buy a Roku locomotive, for example, or a Pico, or even a American without a decoder in it, and you can put an ESU in it, a lot of people will do that. They'll buy, like Pico. A lot of people take out Picos and put somebody else's in. My guy in California that's converted a lot of the first thing he does is say, we're going to get rid of that Pico chip. And he puts in Zemos or Uhlenbrocks into the stuff.
One thing I did notice with the ESU decoder, with the new ones that we've got out, and I really noticed it with the newest decoder out of all of them that I've got, apart from my steam engines, those ones that I've got, but out of the big ones, is the yellow Taurus that I've got. It's got the latest version 5 non-sound chip in it. And the sound, it doesn't, it's still having that one issue where they're not retaining its memory properly of what you've programmed into it. Momentum series back to 0 or 1. That's been done, Ray. It's done. You can adjust that with the actual program itself. There is a section in it. I won't do it now because I've been trying to get this engine calibrated for the last 16 hours. I've nearly got it finished. But it's the communication, how long it takes for what's stored into the decoder to react to what the command is set by the computer or the throttle. That locomotive, the yellow Taurus, it could stop. You could have a difference of up to about 2 inches from your stopping point at certain spots of the layout. It would be nice if the engine could just be DCC sound ready and then put your decoder.
Because, see, that's the double positive, I guess, coming into this hobby at a late age, a late time, and being enamored of the digital, the functions, everything is, I buy everything. I'll pay the price because, to be honest, unless you do the work yourself, in most cases, it's cheaper to buy the locomotive already with the decoder and sound in it if you're happy with the decoder and sound. Like with Pico, I tolerate it because I'm not that picky. But Roco and Miraklin and that put great sound and such in it. But it's actually cheaper to buy the locomotive with it already installed than it is to buy the loco separate and then buy the decoder and that separately and put them in. So I buy everything already done, so I don't have to do anything, which means I stay ignorant of the tech to a degree, but I don't have to worry about adjusting and fixing, or does this match with this?
But you see, this is the funny thing, like what Steve's saying there. I mean, yeah, they are sound ready and whatnot. Like with the Roco stuff, they are sound ready, and all you got to do is just get the right chip. But I've actually found that they come down in price, but that's how they're making their money. When I looked at because I've just recently bought the two new ones, the Austrian 1043 and the 103 from Germany. And I got a good deal with them, and they already have the sound chips in them. When I looked at the price difference between the non-sound and the sound ones, there's roughly between $20 to $40 difference. About $40 average difference.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I say euros difference. I might as well pay that €40 extra. Excuse me.
Yep.
And I don't have to mess around with it. All I had to do to the actual locomotive to put on the layout was change the address on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's anything I had to do with it. Granted, the 103, I had to bring the sound down. The sound was a little bit too loud.
Right.
And the 1043, it was a little bit too low. So I adjusted the volume out so they're back the right thing. And my nephews actually said, yeah, there are still some running in Serbia. So, Jim, Imre, if you're watching this stream, I know you're probably lurking about later on down the track. Get me some photos. Give me some photos and send them to me. I'd like to see what they look like.
Right.
But you know, with this, when I look at the tsunami decoders, just to take away the automation out of it, I find them a nice decoder to work with. They got brilliant sounds in it.
I don't know a thing. I mean, the only thing I know about decoders are basically I learned from Jason, the train freak.
Yeah.
I know more about the German, Austrian ones, Lenz, Uhlenbrock, ESU, Zemo, and so on. I know more about them than I do. So it's hard to say. And again, because I don't play on that side, because that's the thing. Again, once you take Miracle or Roku, the stuff that's made for my system, like the new thing the Miracle decoders do, for example, is when you put the Miracle locomotive or Roku, because Roku now uses MFX programmed ones, but Roku actually makes them where they're MFX or DCC.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you do MFX, you get fewer functions. If you leave it as DCC, and since my Central Station 3 handles DCC and MFX language, it's not an issue. But yeah, I'm digressing. But I take a loco like this one, Miracle, with the Miracle MFX chip in it, and I put this on my programming track. Give it about 10 seconds. My Central Station 3 reads it, and then where most come with a preset address, Miracle decoders are now programmed. They read every address you have in your system and go the next one up. They go the lowest available address. And then if you want to change it, you just wait till it's done installing, and then you just click change, read decoder, good. And it takes 5 seconds. But otherwise, so like if I have my locomotives are all just numbered 01 to 61 or whatever. So with 0 to 61 addresses covered, my next Miracle locomotive, like my new train coming, Miracle will automatically load that and make it address 62. Now, if I don't like address 62, it just takes me 5 seconds to pop, put in the new address, read, and then it's the new address. But the new way the Miracle chips work is to just, they're no longer pre-programmed for address 3. The Central Station 3 reads that there's a MFX decoder and then assigns it an address based on what addresses are available.
Yeah.
On your.
Now, what I'm going to do is there's one topic I do want to talk about, and that's to the manufacturers. If any manufacturers watch here, is to have parachutes installed in carriages. And I'll show you why. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, there he goes. He quits the show. Oh, we get around to it. It's like once every other month we actually will talk something about trains. And Mon finished the stone walls. All right, I will check that either first thing in the morning or later this evening. I've actually got 1 or 2 videos I've got to make tonight or finish making before I go to bed.
The reason why I say trains should, yeah, I did say parachutes, Andy. Yeah, parachutes. Yeah, they gotta come up with trains that actually, when they come off their wheels, that the parachutes automatically deploy. So things like this don't happen. You want to get your tissues out, Anthony?
Oh.
There's the bottom.
Uh-huh.
There's the shell.
Uh-huh.
There's the roof. Didn't bounce too well. Didn't bounce too well.
Dude.
Yeah.
And you wonder why I stole my railjet back from you.
It ran away from the back corner there. Let me get that.
Steve, he needs to put soft foam on his floor, about that thick of soft foam.
Now let me change the camera.
Either that or a really, like flubber. The train goes off, bounces, and then goes right back up on.
Well, to give you guys an idea where she started from, She started at the back corner there on the where I'm pointing with the finger. She started
Right.
from there. She went right down the track, and where my finger is down here at this bend. Yep, this is where she comes off. Straight through there and onto the floor. And
so now what have we learned? You need a little bit of a lip there to, if they derail, they don't completely go off.
I gotta fix up the what they call it, soup elevation there on the whole track work.
No, Andy, they can still go. The only way derailing going down, you'd have to get rid of curves, period.
Yeah, I suppose that is a solution there, Andy. But then I had one of the American cars.
I mean, I think this shows up. I have little bits of carbon glass here.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do need to do something with that corner, because on I did Cab Crew Wednesday, and I did have a train running, and
yes, I actually was able to watch Cab Crew Wednesday for a change. Usually Tuesday and Wednesdays I can't watch YouTube, but
well, I had one of the trains actually come off. Again, I actually uncoupled at the same section and then went through. Most of the American carriages made except for two. Now, only problem is, out of the German carriages that I've got, three came off. One of them I have to get a new. Where is it?
Yeah, Andy, technically this is not Perspex. This is different. This is not Perspex, but same idea.
I've got to get a new diaphragm, and I've got to get a new wheel, a new set of wheels for it. But Rayco's, here we go. That's what's broken. I've got to get another diaphragm for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at how to pull, because I was looking at putting lights in this. There is an upside to it. At least I can see how they come apart. Polycarbonate. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to be doing, Les. I'm going to have to do something about it before I get the other carriages back up again. I've got to fix that corner up.
Or a little net.
A little
net to catch it.
Yeah, but at least now at least I know how they come apart. And I can install the, because I want to put lights in them. And I'm going to install lights in them. I'm going to get some lights kit for it. So I reckon that'll look nice when I do nitron operation. So if anyone's making trains, come up with an idea how we can actually have built-in parachutes in them. I know it's not too much to ask. Yeah, well, I am going to get a small fascia put in there, but there is technically where that came off at. There is going to be a bridge there, so I've actually come up with an idea what I'm going to do for a bridge there now, and it will be the bridge. Pardon?
You've come up with an idea for a bridge there, and I said yes, a bridge.
Yeah, that'd be a good bridge. It will have the bridge will be the safety net. Look at the American carriers. Okay. Oh yeah. The Russian one with this.
Two different conversations going on here too. Yeah, I think it's polycarbonate because Perspex is polymethyl something, and this is straight up polycarbonate.
Well, I got to find out where this guy is. There was a factory up in Sydney, or a retailer up in Sydney, not far from the airport.
No, Andy, the Russian way is for it to happen and then deny it ever happened and that you never saw it happen.
Yeah.
That's the Russian way.
They actually did do different types of perspex, but apparently they're no longer there. So I've got to find out where they're gone. Did it fall? It fell on the outside. It actually went down off the edge, like that crane. None of my cranes would have been the amount of sling that I had in the spool. There was no way to get to the bottom to rescue it. Lucky my passengers that were on the passenger cars, they all had parachutes in it, so they bailed out in time. Food. Yeah. So yeah, at least the passengers survived, and no, they didn't have to get their legs amputated either. But now I know how they come apart.
There are easier ways to take them apart, Artie. I can't get this damn thing apart. Drop. Oh, good. There we see. Now I got it. Yeah, that piece broken there. That's what was holding it together. Right. Okay, I've got it. We're good.
Well, the fun gets even better. Okay, it's Rayco. Rayco's got a very good parts pool and the parts website for all that old stuff. Only problem is when I've gone into it, and this is before that computer glitch, the global computer glitch, there
was no computer glitch. It was your imagination.
Yeah. It was actually shown that, we are revamping our parts department. If you need some parts, go and contact your local Roco dealer. I'm ready to sell my soul to get my spare parts, from.
Yeah, although I don't know if you've looked it up yet. Roco's got a very weird spare parts business. Roco spare parts business. It's actually a separate business. You have to contact Roco, and then they will tell you, yes, here is the email and here is the phone number of the business that handles our spare parts. Now, you get them cheap. You will get them cheap, but it's just a little bit of a couple of bizarre extra steps.
It's, apparently it's starting to not be changed again. I've just been onto it early in the week, but I will have to get in contact with him because the guy down here has.
Well, I will say it does depend on how recent. If it's over 2 years old, it goes to this other business. Anything that is current production, they actually have in-house. But anything else, you have to go elsewhere. Or anything
Well, I got in contact with the actual website themselves, and I looked into it. Actually, it was Monday, my time, which was Sunday night, your time. When I actually looked into it, and it was actually saying that it's all being revamped at the moment. So to contact your local dealer. So I contact my local retailer. G'day, Nathan, how are you?
And
3-4 times left a message, and it has not returned my calls.
And Acme's
so I have to go up there with the parts list because I see they have got plenty of parts there. Jean Ricard, how are you? You turn up just as I'm.
Jean Ricard, what are you doing up? Go to bed, you crazy Dane. He must have heard us mention his name earlier in the stream, and
he's on the graveyard shift, I believe.
Yeah, Jean Ricard, who makes Merklin's decoders nowadays? Is it in-house? Are they in-house? Because they started with Motorola, and then it was like Lens chips. I think Lens for a while made Merklin decoders. Who makes?
But I think they got two separate decoders. One for when you get their sound decoders. I think they got two different decoders there. One for your running, and another one for your sound.
No, I'm
just going to buy it ready to go. So this week I'm going to go up to the dealer up here.
God, Andy, that's sad funny. That's sad funny. Unless it's Hornby, they send you a picture of a 3D printing machine. I need these spare parts. Minga's got these on sale. Ender Pro 3 is a good one to look into.
Yeah.
Because the hoops I had to jump to
for
get these was funny. The hoops I had to jump to get this. This is the adapter coupler for when your railjet and the locomotive you're using with your railjet are not polarized the same way, because apparently Roco polarizes some of their locomotives left to right. The pin couplers they use. Some they polarize, they have it left to right with the wiring system, and some it's right to left. So some of their locomotives, if you plug it in, everything's backwards.
Thanks, Les. Yeah, I'll check them out. Smithville Plastics. But there was another guy in Rockdale, Arncliffe, not far from the airport. He's gone. So, but he had a good range there. Anthony,
not sure what he's asking. Would you prefer, if you had to pick one steampunk train layout or the biggest layout in Germany, Wonderland? Well, first of all, I have been to Miniature Wonderland 6 times now, I think, at least 6. I forget. I'll have to ask Joyce if we're up to 6 or was it 7 now. But we've been there at least 6 times, and we'll be going next June. We'll be at Miniature Wonderland next June.
Okay, we're gonna knock it off.
Oh, it's not ESU anymore. They have Merklin.
No, it's not ESU, John Ricard. It looks nothing like an ESU chip. Nothing like it.
No, it was Lens for a long time. They did use ESU for a little while, but Merklin and ESU had a divorce. That's why there's now the ECOS and the Central Station 2 and 3 by Merklin, because ESU made the Merklin Central Station 1, and they were designing the Central Station 2, and then they and Merklin had a disagreement over something, and ESU said, well, fine, we're going to take our design, which is better than the Central Station, and actually it was better than the Central Station 2. I think the Merklin Central Station 3 is now better than the ECOS. Oh, well, I tried swimming, Nathan, and it didn't work, so yes, I have to take a plane.
Yeah.
All right, good night, Thomas. But anyhow, yeah, this is that coupler. So, for example, like my yellow, actually, no, my Pico. Well, this also can be used like where it doesn't have the pin adapter. So this, I've got 4 of these because it lets my Austrian Red Taurus and my Pico Czech Railjet Taurus connect. But then I also have one of these on my Austrian, what is it? The OATMC, the Austrian Motor Club Taurus, which does have the pin connector. But when I connect it to, it creates a short because it's the wiring polarity is the opposite. And so it screws everything up. I don't know why Roco does it, but they do. So if you buy a locomotive from 2016, it may not run with a Railjet car set from 2018, even though the pin cushions fit because the wires are run differently.
I'll have to later on when I get those locomotives. I will actually talk to you, see if you got the part numbers for it. I don't know what does it cost. Is it roughly about? It's a little bit cheaper than coming to here, isn't it, Anthony?
A lot cheaper, about half the price. For example, I mean, if you want to talk numbers, Joyce and I just booked our flight to. We just booked our flight to the UK in October, and that was about $1,200, $1,300 each round trip. And that's your basic economy class. Germany will be, depending on when we book it, Germany will be about the same. Actually, it's no more expensive for us to go to the UK or Germany.
And that's coming out of Detroit too, Nathan.
Yeah, and we leave from Detroit. So yeah, it's actually cheaper to leave from New York, but I would have to get to New York to.
Yeah. So with you being close to New York, you'd be better off flying out of New York, going across, and you'll get better
Yeah,
deals.
and it'll be cheaper flying out of New York. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like what you could do is, and Nathan, here's an idea: just get on a train out of England, go across into Germany, and then fly home from Germany. Because I think they do have a direct service, haven't they, from London to Germany now?
Yeah, you take the Eurostar from wherever and take it under the channel, and then you'd come out in Cannes, and I think it goes to Paris, and then in Paris you would hop one of the trains that goes on to wherever you want to go in Germany. Usually it will go to Cologne and Frankfurt. You might get one that goes northward, Bremen, down to Hanover.
It's just flight time. Yeah, well, that's about it, Steve, too. I mean, I'd love to get there. I'd love to get there into Germany and have a look around. I do want to spend a bit of time in Europe. Of course, last year I did want to go there, but some people down here had other plans for me and said, no, you can't get over there for your 55th.
It's actually less flight time flying out of Detroit for us, Steve. And also with Detroit, my daughter can drive us, drop us off, and come home because it takes 45 minutes to get up to the Detroit airport from our house, maybe 50 minutes, but it's definitely less than an hour. And so my daughter drops us off, and then she comes and picks us up when we're returning. And we've been taking the last couple of trips we've done direct or nonstop flights as opposed to Detroit to Amsterdam and then Amsterdam to Frankfurt. Now we've been just taking Detroit straight to Frankfurt because for whatever reason, Frankfurt's always cheaper. We've looked at Hamburg, we've looked at Munich, flying in, and it's just cheaper going into Frankfurt all the time. We've had the same thing with London. Like we've said, what would it cost to go to Liverpool or Birmingham? And it's still cheaper going into London than the other places.
Yeah, with bigger flights, it would be with Steve, because I mean there would be, yeah, that's scary. Yeah, it would be scary bumping into Andy, but yeah, it would be cheap. You got a lot more carriers coming in and going direct out of Chicago than what you get at Detroit, because of the main center.
I don't think Chicago has bigger flights. I mean, bigger planes than that going over. I think Detroit's maybe not as busy an airport, but I think it can handle the same level.
Steve, I totally agree.
I'm not enamored of Heathrow either. I'm not enamored of Heathrow. The biggest problem I have with Heathrow is that you get to the airport and it's a pain in the ass to get into London proper, or even to get to the train system, because London itself is a pain in the ass. Like, I just want to go here in London. Well, you got to take this train to this station in London and then to this one. And there's nothing that connects those two stations. You know, what is it, like London Paddington and I forget the other one. And it's like the two biggest stations, Victoria and King's Cross. And it's like there's the three biggest stations and there's no direct train routes between them. So like when we go to Getz, we have to catch a train from Heathrow Airport to, I think it's London Paddington, and then we have to take the subway to another airport, or to another train station to catch our train to go up to Milton Keynes. So it's all crazy.
All right, well, Anthony, sorry, Les, we got Amherst, which is just in the winter when it's snowing and freezing cold.
I can't hear you, my love.
Worst MST movie that they even can hardly do.
Really? Now?
You don't know it? Come on, they make fun of it all the time.
Man of Fate is one of the most famous.
That's the one else. Okay, thanks. They did that reference.
I love the Tube. Don't get me wrong. I love the Tube. It's just the train stations are a pain in the butt in London. Joyce and I love the Tubes, and the people that work the Tubes are beautiful. They are so helpful. Joyce and I went from the first day we're in London, trying to understand how the subway system worked, and within 2 rides on the tube, we had it.
The other city I find it's a pain to get around in unless you know your way around.
But it's the trains in London. Houston is another one. Yeah, Houston's the other one.
Yeah, New York City. You know, you got your underground. Look, nothing wrong with the train system. I mean, you got the train system, but if you want to go on a particular line, you've got to get out of that one and walk over to another one to catch it. I mean, it's like, can't you just have Warner Central? Well, maybe we've been spoiled up here in Sydney where everything comes into one section and you can change from there to wherever you want to go in the network. But you'll have a good time there, Nathan, in the UK, in England. But you also, how many days would you need to go for the Miniature Wonderland? 2, 3, 4 days, Anthony?
Oh, wow. I mean, you can do, to get from London to Miniature Wonderland, how many days?
No, just to look around inside.
Oh, you can do it in a day. It's, you can do it. I can see everything if I'm walking fast and not stopping to gawk at everything, I can do it in 4 to 5 hours. If I really want to gawk, 6 to 8 hours. And there are people that it's a day event. And there are clubs I know that go and spend 2 days. But you can see everything in, really, if you just want to walk through, 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours. If you want to stop and check out some things, more than 3 hours. And if you're really, for example, I've done live streams from Miniature Wonderland. Okay, when I've done live streams. I did a live stream with Joyce and Jean Ricard in 2023, and we did it in 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we saw everything except part of Scandinavia. We didn't go to Scandinavia on camera.
Yeah.
Miniature Wonderland. The thing is, it was a great trip for me. And if you're a model train enthusiast, because I'm not a big real train enthusiast, although I love traveling by train. I just, I'm not a rail fanner. I'm not a train spotter where I go. Anymore, I try to learn trains. And if Joyce and I are at a station, we'll look around and see which trains are around. But we did an amazing bit where we caught the 3 biggest model train exhibitions in Germany: Miniature Wonderland, the Märklin, the Märklinaeum, as they call it, and then Peter Porsche's Traumwerk model train layout, which is digitally, it's a very cool thing. All kind of disco lights and fancy lighting systems and that, and it's beautiful. But when you get up close, they really skimped on the trees. They did not put the best trees in there. Where Märklin, each tree is handmade individual, 40, 50,000 of them, whatever they put in there. And then we found another little Märklin place in a little lake town in the Black Forest called Titisee. And the one that sucks is the largest model train museum layout, model train layout, public exhibition layout in Switzerland was about 100 feet behind Joyce and me when we're standing at the station ready to go to Rhine Falls. If I had known it was there, we would have, after Rhine Falls, we would have gone in and visited it. But I didn't know it was there. Somebody later said, "Do you know that there is a Switzerland's largest model train thing was right behind you?" And I was like, "No, I didn't."
Well, guess what? You'll have to go back and have a look now. Yeah. There used to be one down at Jervis Bay, not far from when we went to do the whale watching on the way down. It used to be a exhibition, a little layout there, or decent sized layout there for sure. But whether it's still there or not, I don't know. But also being a long weekend that it was, or the weekend that it was, there was no way I was going to go down that road, because we would have had one hell of a time to come out of there.
Because there used to be one in Berlin too, but it literally was a model train layout of the city of Berlin in Berlin, but they went bankrupt and they were selling it. And I guess one guy bought most of it, but he parted it out and he wasn't keeping all the scenery, which is a shame because that was cool. I've been to Northlands. I've seen Northlands. And it's impressive. Northland's impressive. And the fact that it's kind of a guy and his friends that did it, it's impressive. But, you know, and I, you know, the problem is I don't want to do comparisons. But seriously, if you're into model trains, you go to Miniature Wonderland and I guarantee you'll say there's nothing else like it in the world. It is. Everybody else is in second place. Miniature Wonderland just blows your mind away. Model trains, model everything, and they're constantly renewing it. Like they're taking a large part of the Austria Alps area out right now, and they're redoing all. Well, they're not taking it all out, but they're redoing the track. And the track was 3-rail, but they're going 2-rail.
Yeah. Well, Papa John just caught another one. Was that another fish? Another cold? But I don't know if Les remembers when he was doing the interstate back in the late 80s. There used to be two layouts along the Hume Highway. There used to be one in Gunning in one of the gas stations there. And the other one was down Holbrook where I granted that submarine. There was a layout a bit further down from halfway along that township. There used to be a layout there also in a gas station with a DPU. Oh, cool.
That's my layout.
All right, we're going to call quits here anyway because I've got things I want to get done. Because the time's going to get away on me.
Yeah, again. Nathan, there are many train museums in the UK. Hot Dog Pilot Andy or some of the UK guys that might still be awake here might know better. But I think the York National Railway Museum is the biggest one, I think. And that's the one Joyce and I visited in 2022. And we'll be there in 2026.
Yeah, well, they doing another new museum here in Western Sydney out towards Penrith, and the other train museum we got is the Thilmy one, the main one that we went to. There's one in Brisbane that deals with the Queensland trains.
That would be cool. But yeah, the New South Wales was an impressive museum. Joyce liked it a lot too. Yeah, I loved it, but Joyce really liked it too. Joyce enjoyed it.
Well, they're actually doing track work. They're replacing all the track legs. Actually, the train. You know, remember that steam train that you saw there? They're actually great chat. Okay, Monsville. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits in a sec too. They are extending it by another 3-4 miles. That track, they're doing it all from Picton right through, and they getting rid of all the wooden ties. And the state government has actually donated concrete ties. So that track, there are a lot of tracks there. They were saying is been sitting there for 105 years. Not bad going. So the rail, the rail's getting replaced, the ties getting replaced. So they're spending a lot of money up there.
Yep.
Or doing a lot of work this winter. Then you got a big one down in Victoria and Williamstown down in Melbourne. We never got to it. It was too windy. That has actually got the biggest non-articulated steam engine in Australia. Heavy Henry, we call it. There was only one or two of them made. That actually, well, that's the only one survived. She came too late in its time. It basically came in as dieselisation was coming in. And yeah, there's a few of them about, but the Thilmy is the biggest one at the moment that's undercover. and a new one on its way. Where they're going to put even older stuff in that's been preserved. So anyway, people, I'm going to call it the show for here. Hopefully,
I'm try to find this real quick for Nathan, but oh well. Maybe I'll remember it from my live stream. He was talking about something. I was going to show it to him, but
okay, go and show it, go.
Well, it's going to take me a minute or 10 to find it.
All right. So remember, people, go and check out Anthony. He's got a competition going for his two. I was going to say 2.
It's our 2,000 subscriber. Thank you.
And he's using me again.
Well, Artie, you know you love
really
to be used
here.
You love to be used, Artie. What can I say? You just like being used.
Man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get that.
You got those soulful little eyes that go use me.
Yeah, well, I just saw.
Give me a candy bar and I'm yours.
Well, I spied a train I can actually confiscate from you anyway. That's payback.
Yeah, and you saw how quickly we got it back, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's going to take you longer to get it back this time.
You're right. But yeah, okay.
Now let Anthony show this up for Nathan and.
No, I can't. It's taking me too long to find.
Okay, it. Well, we'll have a look. Well, that's our homework for next week. Come back next week, Nathan. So everybody, well, it's going to be tonight for me, but early morning for the Americans. Check out Hot Dog Andy. He's going to be on. He does a great show. Don't know what he's going to do on his layout. He's full of surprises. I won't be there on Sidetrack Sunday tomorrow, so you won't see me here. Actually, you won't see me at live streams a week.
Nathan DeLay, my live stream for over 4 years is without missing a Friday, has been every Friday, 3:00 U.S. Eastern Time.
And even I was up for it this time, only because I heard my name being mentioned.
Well, we mentioned you 3 times and you showed up.
Yeah. Well, you actually mentioned it twice, then I showed up. I'm doing better than Heath. So anyway, with that, guys, have fun, stay safe, and see you all next week.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Anthony.